Was it using Denuvo? I don't remember.
I
I know
think it was Denuvo,
costs.
yeah.
Yeah, Denuvo. I've hit that with so many games with Denuvo, and it's pissed me off so much every single time. Doom and Doom Eternal specifically with Doom Eternal.
Okay.
When that came out, it had a lot of patches and changes that it needed constantly in order to get working properly, and I would hit that stupid Denuvo DRM block at least 2 or 3 times a week, because you block, wait 24 hours, block, wait another 24 hours. And I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? I owned the game, but here's something funky that I did for testing. I had a copy, we'll just say that, and I sim linked the legit game folder to the copy folder just so that I could test it without the DRM.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was fun. Thank you, Denuvo.
It's kind of interesting you mentioned Doom and Doom Eternal, because when the Steam Deck was coming out, Valve was using that as like one of their poster child games. Like, this is a game that works incredibly well on the Steam Deck. So it's weird that it was such a problem when it came out.
It came out before the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Doom Eternal came out before the Steam Deck. That's why I'm saying, like, we had to get this stuff ironed out before Steam Deck was even out. Once Steam Deck was out, a lot of the hard to fix stuff was pretty much in good shape, which is, I'm thankful, because had it released like a year or two earlier, I think it would have been a mess. So I'm glad that Valve really just took their time with the Steam Deck and getting all the major stuff ironed out.
Do you find, like, obviously I can look at the list and see like what games are working, but do you find a lot less people sort of complaining about there being problems with newer games now that we do have the Steam Deck here, or is it sort of about the same?
No, not really. I would say it's really no different than a Windows release for some modern titles.
Okay.
Like, typically with Windows, a new title comes out, and you probably have like an NVIDIA driver update or an AMD driver update that you need specifically for the game, either to fix something or run something. Same thing goes with Linux. But these days, like, Ratchet and Clank was one. Doom Eternal was obviously one when it came out. But most, Last of Us. Oh my God. Yeah, don't get me started on that one either. But most, I would say, especially with the later DX12 titles, if it's a brand new game, give it maybe a week or two, and it should get most of the major, if there's problems with it running, give it a week or two, and it'll probably have most of those initial launch bugs fixed.
What I do find really interesting, though, is we are like seeing big titles like Baldur's Gate, for example. Like, I believe that was verified the day it came out. Like, there are titles like this that are coming out where developers are explicitly, like, there's no shot they weren't having discussions with Valve about getting it verified beforehand. Like, if it's going to be verified day one, like, they're obviously doing that. So it is really cool that we are starting to see some developers actually taking that initiative to try and get it working on this platform. And I don't know, like, I didn't think we would ever get to this point considering the market share that we have with Linux, but for some reason, even though the Steam Deck isn't like, it's not a Nintendo Switch in sales or anything like that, it still has had this really sort of widespread effect on the Linux gaming space.
Yeah, I want to go back on the Baldur's Gate 3 thing. One thing that I think kind of helps with that is when games offer like early access.
Right.
Because Baldur's Gate 3, even though it released now, it's been in early access for forever, and that really, really helped. When it first came out, it did have problems. I think I probably still have a Proton fix in there for when it was originally. It had some stuff that needed to be done, and once, like, the launcher didn't even work at first, and now all of that stuff works, and it's because they had that early access and we were able to get those things ironed out before the game even released.